Don't carry the burden of personal selfhood around with you, which is your past and your problematic future. But be light, as take one step at a time, and be the presence through which you perceive. Be there with every step. And when you perceive the tree, the flower, you're able to perceive against the background of stillness. So you're not creating a barrier of concepts between nature and yourself. A oneness, a field of oneness arises between nature and yourself. And then nature will be extremely helpful. It's teaching you to be one with life, to be still. Just go to any tree and see how still it is. And the moment you notice how still and alive and surrendered to life the tree is, that in you which notices that is the stillness. Otherwise you wouldn't even see that there's stillness there. If you approach it only with thought, you would have some kind of personal thing to do with nature. Oh, that tree, that would be great in my garden. And don't feel guilty if that thought crossed your mind. Or even more, the wanting to pick a flower, don't do it here, but you know, also why I must have that. It's mine now. Even on that level, the personal self can come in, or it comes in, oh, that looks like a tree that my Aunt Mary had 10 years ago in her garden. I wonder if it's still there. And she was a strange person, wasn't she? But to be truly present there as you're a field of aware presence walking, and then it may happen that in addition to the beauty that you see around you, and walk sometimes and give some attention to perhaps a tree or flower for a little while, just be with it. Without no wanting, nothing, just being with it. And then you may notice there's the form. You may notice in the background the presence that you are, the light of consciousness in which this tree appears. The presence, the stillness that you are, as the background to whatever you perceive. Birdsong, trees, flowers, different noises in nature. And so there's that which appears, the form, and that which is the space that enables this form to appear, which is the space of yourself, the space of now, the space of consciousness, the one consciousness, the light of consciousness in which forms appear. So that is, and even here, as you sit here, you can sense that in the foreground there's this room, there's the voice, the shapes and colors. And yet, what is it that makes all this possible? To be. The being itself. before it becomes something. That is the one life, the one consciousness that you are underneath the form. So you are in two dimensions, one could say, at the same time. The formless and form. And this is your practice in nature. Nature is not challenging. You can stay present easily with a tree or flower. Human beings are more challenging. And so they pull you quickly into identification again with form, with thought, reaction. Because most humans still come from thought. They are thought entities. And they want you to contribute to their universe. And they say, give me more thought. Confirm to me that my story is important. And then you can tell me yours and I'll do the same for you. And in bed tonight, as you lie there, you may find the mind wanting to drag you along with it again and think about, okay, there's only one more day, or whatever it is, one more day, or 3 more days, or 4 more days left here, and then I'll have to think about the things that are waiting for me when I get home. Let me think about my promise now. And then you suddenly remember, the now. All there ever is, this moment. Where is it? Of course you can't see it. But sometimes it happens that you wake up, your sense perceptions suddenly wake up. And then you feel the aliveness in the body. And you can lie on your bed feeling the aliveness within that permeates the body. Yes, there's life. It's subtle, but it's there. And then the need to think lessens, and you can just be a field of aware presence. And perhaps you can listen, there are certain noises that you hear from nature. And if it's your roommate snoring, that's fine too, that's what is, and be. And if you have to remove yourself from that room, that's fine. Or if you throw something at him or her, you can do that too. Your ability to do things is not diminished when you live in surrender. All it means, I surrender to what is. I can try it. Let's see if he wakes up if I throw something at him. Okay. Still snoring. And you see that things that before would have created frustration and upset and anger, and there's so many that happen in a person's life, all those things that before would have created that, now are simply part of the isness of this moment. And suddenly you have a space around it. Okay. And that space is the space of presence. And then you get to know yourself as the spaciousness around things, so to speak. Not the thing. You are that which allows the thing to be, and then to disappear, and then something else to come. That's the now. That's the deeper meaning of now, is the space in which everything happens. And so the now and yourself are one. And the power of now, of course, is the power of life, of the very being that you are. And when I say yourself, of course I don't mean the fictitious self of the story that is form-based and thought-based, but the deeper being that you are, being itself. Freedom from the world, ultimately. And then the world becomes a very pleasant place, not frustrating anymore. Things still come and go, gain and loss happen, birth and death continuously happen, and that's how it is. And there's an underlying peace, and that peace is inseparable from who you are. That's our practice this weekend, and that's the way we can live our life, which isn't really our life at all, which is simply life living us, life living through us. We don't have a life, because then there's me and life. Not possible. We are life. The one life, in many forms that are born and die continuously. The one consciousness, the one life. And so life can then live freely through you, and it can flower. And that flowering may take form also as a creation, or it may remain simply as an emanation that comes through this form. And that emanation one could call love, not the egoic love that says, I want you, you stay here, I need you and I want you. Or it says, make me happy, sign here on the dotted line. But the true love, the love that is a recognition of oneness as an emanation. That's the flowering. I suggest you stay for a little while until you feel ready to move. Stay with the stillness that is here, the sacred field, the sacred space, until it's time to move.